going on, guys? Today is December 29th. It is Thursday. And today I have my friend Andre.
What's up?
Dude, come on.
How's it going?
Yeah, what's up? And not only that, I have my friend John.
What up?
And my friend Squeaky.
What it is.
Yep. And, well, today we're just going to be talking about the most American thing you could ever possibly ever do in America. And it is one of these. We talk about guns.
Do one of those. The most American thing you can do. One of these.
Yep. We're Americans, so we love our guns and we love our beer. We love everything about them. Our freedom.
Yeah. Miller
Second
Lite.
Amendment. Miller Lite. Yeah. This is America.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, yeah.
PBR.
Budweiser. Anyways, Andre, you're a big fan of airsofting, right?
Yes, I like it.
And as far as liking it, what is it that you exactly do about it?
Well, what is it?
Tell me more about airsofting. What is airsofting? What does it consist of? Is it a sport? don't know.
Some consider it a sport. Some consider it a hobby. It's up in the air, I guess you could say. It's debatable, but who cares? It's fun. You could call it whatever you want. It is what it is. Pretty much, I mean, yeah, fake replica firearms. It's like a cleaner and more affordable alternative to paintball.
And compared to paintball, what is it different? Because a lot of people remember when I went airsofting or paintballing, everyone talks shit about the airsofter because they're a bunch of pussies because they can't take the
Well,
the hit.
honestly, I've played both, and I gotta say they're both the same thing. People that are talking shit about it are just assholes. It's, to me, I think it's all the same because, I mean, people say they don't like airsoft because it doesn't hurt as much or whatever. But honestly, it's all the same. It just depends how you get hit. Not only that, but then people try to argue that, in paintball you could tell if you're out or not because you have paint on you, right? And airsoft you can't. Well, honestly, there's not much of a difference. There's still that honor code, right?
Yeah.
So what's funny is that with paintball, you can get hit, and by the end, somewhere throughout the day, you're going to be covered in paint either way. So who is anybody to tell you, I hit you or not? Is anybody really paying attention? People are probably just going to pop out, shoot you. The paint pops on you, and they're just going to keep running and gunning as they were, not really paying attention if they hit you or not. They're just going to expect you to call yourself out, just like airsoft. So, you're going to be covered in paint, like I said. So it really is no difference. And another thing that I didn't like about paintball, when I played, I was playing paintball. A dude came out, and he shot me like 3 times on the chest. But apparently, as I was walking out of the field, we had a private match set up, so there was not really walk-ons. So it's all friends or people that had hosting their own party, like a private event. But my team members who were used to paintballing, they were telling me, "Oh no, you're still in. Go back. The paintballs didn't pop." So because they told me that they didn't pop, apparently I was still in the game. Where in airsoft, you're just out when you get hit. So if you have paintballs that aren't splashing onto people, apparently, and you're noticing that, then you're still in the game. And I ended up lighting that dude up, and I was still in, which, I would have been fine calling myself out because technically he did shoot me first, but apparently paintball rules say, hey, they didn't pop, then you're fine.
So basically just honor code in the airsofting community rather than the paintball?
Well, it's the same thing for both. It's the same thing for both, but people just try to argue that they're different. But, I mean, the only thing different about it is the guns and the rounds you're shooting. The only rule that I see a difference in is the rule of having your ammo have to explode onto somebody else in order for them to be out in paintball.
So let's talk more about the guns. The guns, obviously there's a big difference between the paintball and the airsoft community. Can you tell me more about the pricing and what's more affordable, what's more...
I couldn't tell you anything about paintball. I don't know what paintball goes for. I've never actually looked at the prices of paintball guns. I mean, I'd imagine it's the same thing as airsoft. The only thing that I think is more expensive is the rounds. So for airsoft, you could get like 25,000 BBs for like $20.
As compared to paintball, you have to buy, they go bad. The paintballs go bad. They only have a certain shelf life. As far as BBs,
I didn't even know that. So then there's that, and you're paying like $40 to $80 for like maybe 100 or 300 paintballs.
And then obviously there are different tiers of paintballs. Certain paintballs are like, there's some that The chemicals in them, they expire.
See, I didn't even know that. So there's that. I mean, I'm not bashing paintball. I think paintball's still fun. And
certain arenas, you could only use their paint.
Yeah, that's how they make their money. It's just like,
Well, then they're also worried about people bringing in frozen paintballs. Because I'm sure
you're pretty much an asshole if you do that.
Well, yeah, and if they catch you, you'll probably get banned.
Huh?
What?
You brought frozen paintballs to an arena? Oh, okay, never mind.
Wait, you knew somebody that did?
No, I've heard stories.
What's their name? Tell everybody. Let them all know.
All it really is
this asshole?
Before you go into the arena, they always check your hopper.
Well, they do the same thing with Airsoft. I remember one time I was playing at Tac City back when it was in Almani, before they moved to Irwindale, like way before they closed it, which was recently. But one time I was playing and then they started checking everyone's rounds, and someone had said that someone was shooting glass BBs.
Glass BBs. Do they make those?
I didn't know that. I didn't think they did, but apparently that was a thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I just showed them my rounds. They looked at it. And they were like, all right, if we catch you, we're calling the police or whatever.
Oh, because it's pretty much a...
Well, yeah, it's dangerous.
Glass just break in the barrel, dude, from the impact?
That's what I thought, but I don't know. Apparently somebody was shooting.
We could always ask those people that just test stuff.
They test...
Like any object.
Yeah.
Or that one guy that just shoots stuff, like, out of his shotgun. Glass.
One dude, one of the refs there, like, unclipped my whole clip, like, just all of it, and then he put his own rounds into it, thinking, like, I put different rounds in there.
Wait, for what? When are you chrono?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they only do that to make sure. Like, that's one thing I learned. When you go get your gun chronoed, just bring them an empty mag, and if they ask you to put BBs, just bring extra, like, BBs, like a speed loader with you, in case they ask you about it. Because they'll always just dump it out, put their BBs, because they don't know if you have .25s or not. Some people will run .12, .25, but they need to make sure that the feet per second is by the gram of .20.
And then
that's how they check it, because it all has to be a consistency. So it's like they're gonna test all the feet. They're gonna test the feet per second and with the same size BB rounds, just to make it consistent with everybody's guns.
Back to the guns. As far as the guns, you could pretty much tell the difference between a paintball and an airsoft gun. And is there like a law that you're supposed to have your red or your marker marked?
It's not illegal to not have it, but for the retailers to sell them,
they need paint.
They can't sell them without the orange tip. That's the only thing illegal about
it. But it's not illegal to have. I mean, as far when you go into these airsoft communities.
Oh no! If you go to the field, you're fine running that like a solid black gun. Like, it doesn't have to have the orange tip if you're playing at like a field. It's okay. Like, you won't get in trouble for that. They won't tell you.
It's just like any other gun. You have to have it in a certain package.
Yeah, whether or not it's orange or black, they're going to tell you don't brandish your weapon out in public. Even if it does have the orange tip, you can't walk down the street with that either way. You know what I mean?
They passed a law where if you're buying a gun now, they have to have like the blue tape on it. Or a certain kind of tape.
There's like orange tape, if I remember.
Yeah, it's orange.
Yeah,
they sell you
orange electric tape.
Yeah, and they tell you not to take it off, but people take it off.
Oh, see, I don't know anything about the actual.
Recently, that's why.
Huh?
Did they sell you with the orange tape?
Yeah, they sold me this gun and that gun with the orange electric tape on the trigger guard right here.
Yeah.
And also like kind of like on the buttstock, but then they said.
On the airsoft guns.
Yeah, on airsoft guns.
Yeah, airsoft guns. They recently passed this.
Yeah, they passed it, I think, in like 2016.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you get home, you can just take it off yourself.
Oh, but they're like, we don't recommend.
I mean,
they didn't say that.
Well, they probably have to say that legally. They'd probably tell you that as like legal, some kind of like legal rights or something.
From what I remember, they said that like in order to sell me like this airsoft rifle or any airsoft like weapon, they have to like sell it with like a orange electric tape on there. The other proposition that they had that they ran in California was they had to like actually like spray the paint color on there. But obviously, but luckily that didn't pass. But obviously, it'll make it kind of like stand out that it's not like an actual like rifle or like a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it could always be worse, even if we had to do that, because in Canada or certain countries, I used to follow this Canadian airsoft video, and they have to their guns over there, they can't be all black at all. They're either clear or like a bright neon green, and it's
just so someone knows that they're not.
Yeah, but that's the law over there. Like, even with the fields, like,
so they can't even. No one makes them like.
Yeah, so if we were to like go airsofting out there, we wouldn't be allowed to use our guns. Maybe I'm not too sure how that works, but from my understanding, I think we'd probably have to rent some of their guns. to play there.
I got to give it to the airsoft community because I've been airsofting and I feel like they're really about safety. Like at all aspects of the game, they're always considered about safety. And then maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, we went to go shoot real guns, and I feel like
you kind of learned a little bit of something from it, or
no? It's just that I feel like our gun laws, our safety laws, are just kind of they're broken. I mean, we went to the gun range and then we picked out the guns, and then the gun member or whatever, he's like, "Oh, you guys are set. Do you guys need a briefing?" And we're just like, "We kind of do need one." They didn't want to offer one to us, but there's not really a full gun briefing. They just kind of just give you the straight, like, this is the gun, this is the trigger, this and that. But as far as when I went airsofting, there's a whole video you're supposed to watch.
Yeah.
Towards like.
Well, it's because of lawsuits and stuff, and you're having people shoot at people there.
Yeah.
That is true.
So that's the only reason they do that, because they don't want you like.
Real guns.
But when you
yeah,
go,
but you're not shooting at people, and if you are, then.
But still, I understand, John. You're more avid. You're what I would consider you more intermediate now.
But the thing is, though, it's like when the guy asked us if any one of us had shot, both Rob and I said yes, we have shotguns before, so that way he felt more safe. But you could. That, if we didn't say we'd never shot before, I'm pretty sure he would have given us a rundown. But
it's crazy how like now you just have to. You could just say, "Yeah, I already shot a gun," when in reality you never shot a gun. There's no.
There's no precaution of that.
I have a feeling like later on in the future there's gonna be a background check to even shoot a gun at a gun range.
That would actually be good. That's also scared me with airsoft. You know, you got people walking in there with full metal, like airsoft AEGs, and that's scary. I don't know. That's one thing I've always thought about. Like, if it got too like mainstream, like maybe, I don't know. That shit's fucked up. That's why I don't know. It's just super scary. I think they should check your guns, just as a.
I mean, that one time we went, did they even? He said he was gonna check your ammo. I don't even think he checked your ammo, did he?
Yeah, he did check.
He did check your ammo. I feel like he didn't check your
I
ammo.
just opened up my box and he just saw the box itself. And
he just assumed it was the ammo. Yeah, see.
Yeah.
You thought it was real bullets?
I also been there many times too. So
yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, yeah, the thing about like, I understand why you kind of don't like that place. I feel kind of nervous around the people that are there, because there's a lot of like beginners, and some of the people don't even like hardly speak anything English.
Dumb, you know, like. You know, people like, you know, you said like it teaches you like gun safety. And I mean, I want to say it's taught me like gun safety, and I mean, I don't mean to be like a dork about it, but I try to be like realistic to make it more fun.
Yeah.
So like I'll carry it like a certain way or whatever, and like, you know, keep your finger off the trigger or whatever, and like always point your barrel down. Don't like have it up and like wave it around like hey, look at that over there. Oh man, or like say if I turn around, be like hey Andre, and I'm like, oh what, like what's going on? You know, just all stupid. Like, just people waving their guns around, dragging them on the floor. You know, and they're all these... I mean, just fucking nerds. I mean, I
can't afford real guns now.
I mean,
but yeah,
I mean... better, but I mean, fuck, like... I mean, these people are just like... I mean, they treat them like they're Nerf guns or something. And I mean, yes, I get it. They're toys. I mean, some people argue, oh, those things aren't real guns.
But it's pretty much like the next. Like, they're pretty much guns, basically.
Well, I mean, just it's not. It wouldn't hurt to be safer about it. I mean, why are you gonna be not safe? Because I've brought my guns around certain friends that people that aren't really into it, like, and they don't take it seriously. And I mean, I get it. Like, okay, it's a fake gun. Who cares? But at the same time, you know. I don't know if it's just me being paranoid, but I mean, I kind of play out like, I think of the consequences of like, okay, what could possibly go wrong here? And shit's flying through my head, and I'm like, oh man, these guys are dumb because of how they're doing it, you know? They take out the gun, I want to show it to them, they wave it around like it's nothing, or you know, they don't know if it's loaded, they got the safety off, they just seem immature, like, and irresponsible about it. And I mean, I get it, it's a fake gun, but you know, it's a fake gun, but if these people saying that were to get hit in like the eye without, you know, the protection or whatever, being careless, they're not gonna be saying it's a fucking toy then. So, you know, I mean.
Let me ask you this. So everyone debates on how guns kill people. What's your perspective? Do you think guns kill people or people kill people?
Well, say if we didn't have guns, I think people would still have a fine figure. Before there were guns, I mean, there were fucking swords. You know, people still killed people without fucking that. I mean, watch. After, okay, they want to ban this.
There's
You
other
know
ways
what?
to kill people.
You know, it's funny, you know, like, what if you got to have a license to have kitchen knives in your kitchen? I
That's a
mean,
weapon.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
think that's even more sketchy. Like, honestly, I think getting shot is, like, a nicer way. I mean, it still sucks, and that's not cool, but I mean, it's better than have someone, like, stab you and then pull it back out to do it again, and they got you right. I don't know. It's just
So
fucked
guns
up.
aren't the
That's pretty
problem.
brutal.
It's brutal as fuck. I don't want to die like that. Just shoot me. It's fine. I mean, fuck. Yeah.
So how do you feel, John, about the gun laws in California now? How strict they have become in the past?
Well, I mean, I am a gun owner, but the
Oh.
thing is, like, I feel like all these gun laws are kind of like staged. Like, there's a term for it, it's like, it feels like there's a saying where it's like the laws itself creates an illusion of safety, but in reality it doesn't actually make anybody safe, because if you think about it, criminals will always have a way or means to get illegal firearms illegally, right? So what I feel about these laws that like kind of like, you know, restricts or limits like a person to practice the Second Amendments is like, you know, it only punishes the people who follow the law, like myself. But then, like, you know, people will always find a way, like there's a black market, you know, people will always, like, you know, find a way to transport weapons in. And it's really hard to like enforce like these types of laws too. I mean, if you look back in like kind of history, you know, it's like, how are you gonna like find everybody to like go through people's houses and just take their guns away? You know, it's like it takes too much money to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, they have these bring your guns for cash. I remember my dad we had a gun. It was all fucked up, the buttstock and everything.
That's like old school.
Yeah,
right?
it was an old school and it was jammed.
No,
and
but I'm talking about like that
But yeah,
guns for cash.
guns for cash. They
There was
still
a-
do it.
There was an Urkel episode about it. Do you remember that?
No, I
You
don't
know?
remember it.
There was an episode about like, you remember Urkel, right? Like there was an episode where in high school like a kid brought a gun and they were talking about guns. That episode happened to be about it, and this is like shows like in the early 90s,
Yeah.
late 80s.
And-
So you know they were talking about
and-
it then because there was like gang violence. Back
Yeah,
then.
the way they did this was you bring your guns, you put them in the trunk, and you drive up to the parking lot.
Yeah.
They just tell them what you have, and no questions asked. Like literally, so I was like, man, what if I have like a RPG and like, you know, a
They're
saw or
All right,
something,
man. Thanks. Thanks for stopping
army
by.
issued, you know?
He's like, I don't want this one. I got more at home.
No questions asked. I'm pretty sure C4s. Imagine.
You bring an RPG, like I won't be needing this
I won't be
anymore. I got
needing
a
this.
javelin at home.
Yeah, you can
What?
have this. Yeah, but those are some. I mean,
Yeah, I just bought a tank.
about a tank, Joe.
Oh
It's
damn.
super expensive to even just operate that thing too, man.
So
You
let
need
me
like
ask
an
you.
ar- you need a crew to
I
do
heard
it.
It's automatic transmission, so.
Let me ask you this, John. So by owning a weapon, do you feel safer in your household, or
I mean,
do you just?
no,
Feel,
not really. I mean, there's always like a level of uncertainty, you know. I mean, not everybody's kind of like safe, you know. Regardless if you do have firearms, I mean, to be quite honest with you, even if somebody broke in, like I wouldn't even resort to like picking up the gun in the first place. I would just, the best situation, like when you find yourself in that situation, is to avoid it completely altogether. If I had a way to get out of my house, I would just run, because I don't want confrontation. Because the last thing you want to do is just confront like the person that breaks in your house, and then like just try to see if you can like tell him to like put down his weapons or just like hold fire.
but you legally have that right to shoot that person, correct?
Well, in California,
California.
we have a rule that says to stand your ground, so you can use an equal amount of force the other person is using. So if a person had a knife and I pulled a gun on him to tell him to like, you know, freeze, that's not right, because that's not using the equal amount of force, you know. So, but if you did have a gun, then yes, and I had like the only choice of means to protect myself was a weapon when it was a gun, then yes, it would be plausible. But it's a lot of gray area, you know. And I remember there's also a law too. If you can't shoot the person in the back, because that indicates that the enemy is running away. So there's a lot
That's
of
actually
gray area.
good. I would just
Yeah.
I would just shoot.
No,
him.
it's a lot of, it's very tricky. I mean, I'm still learning.
This is one thing that I think's stupid though, because you know these people are over here making these laws, yet they don't understand. They probably grew up in like, I mean, I'm not saying we had it all bad or nothing, but these people are
There's people that
they're blind. You know,
Yeah.
they're ignorant. They're trying too hard to make peace on earth by making the good people turn the other cheek, be like, no, don't stoop to their level. We're better than this. You'll be fine. Don't shoot them.
Just watching
And then we
people
end up
suffer.
fucking getting ourselves killed, and then it's like, oh, it's so tragic, you know. And they go on with their happy, stupid life, but they made up the fucking rule that we can't defend ourselves. So then we're, you know, that just, like what John said, you know, it only punishes those who obey the law. Like the law-abiding citizens have to suffer for other people's stupid actions, who obviously didn't care about the law. I mean, all these new laws that are happening. Now, if we went back in time and these laws were already in effect, the same situations that have happened illegally would have happened either way. So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, to your point, too, it's like, for people who haven't, like, held a gun or shot a gun before, and to automatically say, oh, they're evil, they do terrible things. Like, what I like to do, and especially with all my friends, is I like to go take them out to go shooting, because that way they have experience. I mean, even if my girlfriend was never shot a gun before, she was a little bit scared, but then, you know, I took her shooting, I told her, like, you know, the basic rules of safety, never point at anybody, always assume it's loaded, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And then when she shot it, like, you know, she liked it a little bit, and then, like, even recently when I bought my shotgun, we shot it, she loved it, because, in fact, she actually shoots better than me with the shotgun.
Wow.
I was very impressed. So, yeah, so I was very happy about that.
Kick your ass now. She's gonna be
So
like.
then, yeah, so it... At least when I try to introduce people to like shooting and I take them to go shooting, at least they have a chance to say, oh, I feel like guns are evil and they're unsafe, and I have been behind the trigger and I've shot a gun before. That makes it a little more credible, you know, because like you've...
Instead of
been
just
there and
being
have
like, hey, I
That's what I
fuck,
hate about
guns
it.
are bad.
That's what I think
They
about
kill
cigarettes.
people when you never in reality ever shot a gun. I remember my first time I shot a gun, it was my brother. He has a Glock, the same gun you have. And it was the first time. And I'm be honest, like I was nervous. Like when I got onto the actual the station, I put the clip in, and I was holding the gun. And I was like, oh man! And in my head, it was like, these things kill people. Like any other trigger and point at someone, I can kill them like instantly. And when I first shot it, it was just the burst of energy, just like, and it kind of amazes you. But then after a while, it's like second nature. You just shoot it like. It's like a toy,
Yeah.
but you know it can be lethal. But if you know how to use it and be safe about
just
it,
don't point it at people.
yeah.
Yeah. That is very, you know...
Yep.
Well, airsofting to real guns.
Camera just dead.
Good to know.
Oh, all right. Well, talked about some guns. I hope you guys learned a lot. Thank you, Andre, for your
Yeah.
input on airsoft. Thank you, John,
Yep.
for guns. Thank you, Squeaks, for just holding that gun and looking really cool and badass.
Look, it's
That's the talked about
I
guns
can't see
today
my
and
face.
airsofting. Catch you guys later. We're gonna go airsofting now. Boop, 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 boop.